20 years ago, a massive computer virus destroyed the world. Since then, every city built security walls and exiled criminals to the dangerous outer world. The criminals survived by turning abandoned cars and weapons into combat vehicles. Today, a courier named John drives his own combat vehicle to deliver a package. On the road, he fights a gang called the Vultures who try to steal it. He defeats them with skill and speed, showing he is used to these attacks. It is a world ruled by engines and chaos. This is Twisted Metal. John reaches the client and delivers the package. He receives essential supplies as payment. On his return trip, a Vultures member attacks his vehicle and John kills him. Later, John stops in a quiet area to relieve himself. He catches two siblings trying to damage his car. Afterward, he rests on a beach. He has no permanent home and lives as a wanderer. The next day, he delivers medicine to New San Francisco. There he meets Raven, the city operations chief with strong influence. She notices his talent and offers him a mission. He must bring a secret package from New Chicago back to her city. At first, John refuses. The journey is dangerous. To convince him, Raven shows how peacefully the residents live behind the city walls. She promises citizenship if he succeeds. While he considers her offer, she invites him to her home. There he meets her husband Noah and their infant daughter Dove. After dinner, she talks again about the dangers of his life on the road and urges him to choose the stability of citizenship. John accepts the mission with a 10-day deadline. After he leaves, it is revealed that Noah and Dove are not her real family. The next day, John meets his friend Tommy to plan the trip. Tommy warns that traveling to New Chicago will be deadly and reminds him how brutal the world outside the cities can be. John stays focused, convinced the reward is worth the risk, and Tommy finally hands him a handmade map for a safer route. At the same time, the siblings who tried to damage John's car are caught by a law enforcement team led by Stone. They are loud and quiet. As punishment, Stone gives Loud a pistol and orders him to choose between shooting himself or Quiet. Loud shoots himself to protect his sister. Stone's men then press a hot iron on Quiet's arm with a criminal mark. Time passes and John drives through Las Vegas where he unexpectedly meets Quiet, now released. Conflict erupts when she tries to hijack his car. During the fight, John recognizes her as one of the siblings who attacked his vehicle earlier. Their fight ends when an armed clown attacks them. The clown, known as Sweet Tooth, tries to kill them while calling his assault a performance. The gun John and Quiet plan to use has no ammunition, so Quiet takes the wheel to escape. During the chase, they switch seats so John can use his combat vehicle to strike back. Sweet Tooth fires a barrage of weapons at them. After a fierce battle, John and Quiet finally break free. Elsewhere, two men named Stu and Mike are about to be cooked alive by cannibals. Stone's team arrives in time and executes the attackers. Learning that Stu and Mike are security guards, Stone recruits them. Later, Stone assigns the new recruits to guard a broken-down supply truck. When looters appear, Stone orders them to shoot. Mike fires quickly, but Stu hesitates until Stone pressures him to act. Back with John, he and Quiet hide in an abandoned facility, but Sweet Tooth tracks them down. Because of Quiet's earlier actions, he finds them easily. He corners John and rants with manic energy, then spares him so John can witness his performance at a theater. There, Sweet Tooth reveals he has lived alone for more than 20 years. After that encounter, John names his combat vehicle Evelyn. He still has no memory of his past and knows nothing about his parents or where he grew up. Meanwhile, Sweet Tooth locks Quiet in a soundproof room and plans to let her starve, a fate he has given others before. When he steps away, Quiet asks John for help. John refuses at first because she has tried to kill him before, but he changes his mind when she shows him the key to Evelyn and promises to return it. Sweet Tooth releases Quiet after John promises she will stay to watch the performance. He performs a one-man drama about a hotel and demands honest feedback. Quiet calls the show boring. Urged by her, John agrees. John expects Sweet Tooth to kill them for the insult, but instead Sweet Tooth is pleased by their honesty. As a reward, he frees them both, burns down the theater, and leaves to find a new audience. John and Quiet then agree to travel together. She will stop trying to harm him and he will take her to her destination. Later, they reach a security checkpoint run by Stone's men. Stu and Mike ask for travel papers. While John speaks with Stu, Quiet notices Shepard, the man who branded her arm. She jumps from the car to take revenge, but is stopped before she can shoot. John is captured when he tries to help her. The story shifts to 2002 when the world is still intact. Stone works as a mall security guard. A digital virus suddenly wipes out electronic systems and society collapses. During the chaos, a friend loots Stone's home and he can do nothing. Soon after, Stone receives a report of people stealing food. Wanting to prove he can serve as a real policeman like his father, he responds. The group explains they need supplies for their families, but their words mean nothing to him. They mock him as a mall cop, and anger drives him to shoot them all. From that moment, he becomes a ruthless law enforcer.
I am a man of the law! You broke the law!
Not long after, John and Quiet are taken to a dam facility that serves as a detention center. Stone's men tell them they are being held for traveling without permits and will be released once the documents are ready. During the inspection of Evelyn, Stu finds a map that alarms Shepard. Soon after, Stone questions them about the violation. He explains that his security posts cover many areas and that his mission is to enforce the law outside the cities. He demands to know who created the map. The routes on it avoid every security checkpoint. John protects Tommy by refusing to give a name. The interrogation ends when Quiet spits in Stone's face and angers him. Time passes and Stone's men torture John and Quiet to force a confession. John stays silent to protect Tommy. Both are sentenced to death for refusing to talk. At the execution site, Stu orders them to jump into the base of the dam. When the gate opens, John and Quiet plead for their lives. Stu, unable to kill, frees them and flees with them.
Get a commemorative t-shirt? I thought you were more of a snow globe guy.
While searching for Evelyn's key, John and Stu lose track of Quiet. Quiet slips into Stone's room and finds Shepard alone. She kills him in revenge for branding her arm.
I remember what your fuckhead
She then studies Stone's map and discovers a route to her destination. John and Stu reach Evelyn and prepare to escape. The car stalls, forcing them to push it until Quiet rejoins to help. They get away, but Stu falls and is knocked unconscious when he hits the trunk. Mike and Stone's men soon capture him for aiding their escape. John continues his delivery and wonders where to leave Quiet. She finally says her destination is a city called Topeka. That night 4 container trucks surround them. Evelyn has no weapons because Stone's men removed them. The trucks corner John until they force Evelyn into one of the containers. Inside they meet the leader, a woman named Watts. She has tracked John after finding proof he is a courier. Watts invites them into another container that serves as a mobile home for her group. She explains that they recycle waste into fuel to keep the trucks moving and that the group calls itself Convoy. Watts introduces John to an older woman named Granny. After learning about John's work, Granny offers a deal. She will rearm Evelyn if John retrieves medicine from a pharmacist named Amber. John agrees, knowing he cannot reach New Chicago without weapons for his vehicle. The next day John and Quiet travel to Amber's home. Amber serves drinks that leave them numb within seconds because she has poisoned them with a toxic plant. She plans to kill John, suspecting that he and Quiet are criminals. Her plan changes when she finds a note in John's pants about the medicine Granny requested. The medicine is a flower that contains a lethal toxin. Amber explains that she once belonged to the convoy but left after a dispute with Watts. After securing the flower for Granny, John and Quiet head back to the convoy. On the return trip, they hide in a movie theater to avoid looters. During the pause, they share their first friendly talk. Quiet shows John a jacket that belonged to her late brother Loud and keeps it with his bloodstain as a reminder. They argue when John tries to clean it. Time passes until they reach the convoy. Granny drinks tea mixed with the toxic flower extract. She chooses a peaceful death to avoid the suffering faced by those outside the cities. Before dying, she gives Quiet a secret gift and names Watts the new leader. Watts delivers a farewell speech and the group places Granny in a car. They honor her by detonating the vehicle with her inside. Later the convoy holds a celebration of her life. During the event, John notices that Watts and Amber have reconciled. Soon after, John and Quiet also settle their differences and continue their journey with Evelyn, now fully armed. On the road to Topeka, they kill a criminal who attacks them in a car and suffer a minor accident. While checking the vehicle, John finds his stolen music CD collection and feels a rare moment of happiness. John stays determined to escort Quiet safely to Topeka to keep his promise as a courier. Quiet refuses, saying the city is near enough for her to go alone. John insists, so she invites him for a drink first. He collapses after drinking, poisoned by the plant that was Granny's gift. John wakes to find a dangerous killer nearby. Pretending to be unconscious, he outwits and kills the attacker. After the fight, he finds a note from Quiet. She writes that she has gone to Topeka to kill Stone in revenge for Loud's death and asks John to continue his delivery instead of following her. In Topeka, Stone declares John and Quiet high-level fugitives for killing Shepard and escaping execution. He orders his men to hunt them to protect his reputation. Quiet reaches Topeka and hijacks a vehicle belonging to Stone's men. While driving, she hallucinates and sees her brother Loud as an imaginary companion. Guided by his voice, she decides not to kill Stone and prepares to leave. Law enforcement surrounds her after Stone detects her location. Captured, she is taken to a local amusement park where Stone orders a final confrontation and signals that the fight will be one-on-one. During the clash, Stone's men fire a missile that flips Quiet's vehicle. She survives. But Stone speeds toward her to finish the job. A second missile suddenly strikes his car from behind. John has arrived and fires the shot to save her. At the same time, Sweet Tooth storms Stone's dam facility. He kills a guard with a grenade and breaks through the security post. Inside, Stu waits for punishment, facing death by being forced to jump into the base of the dam. Sweet Tooth appears without warning and kills every guard watching the prisoners. The captives cheer the violent display, which excites him because his performance finally earns real applause. With the guards dead, the prisoners escape. As Stu tries to flee, one of Stone's men targets him. Sweet Tooth kills the attacker, and Stu, grateful for his life, chooses to leave with Sweet Tooth. He hopes to repay the favor and learn how to be stronger. Other prisoners follow, and Sweet Tooth welcomes them as if they are fans. Later, Quiet wakes inside a burger restaurant called Astral. John has brought her there to recover. Memories of Astral return. After the world collapsed, she and Loud worked as fruit farmers. They signed a 4-year contract with Astral, promised a house near the beach after the job. 3 years into the contract, fear replaced hope. Their manager decorated the restaurant with human body parts. Quiet lost her middle finger when he cut it off. One night, he cut off Loud's right ear as punishment for an escape attempt. Quiet killed the manager and the staff who tried to capture Loud, then fled with her brother. Back in the present, Quiet grows angry that John risked his life for her. John is frustrated that she shows no gratitude. He soon realizes she still plans to kill Stone. A thunderstorm known as Watkin hits, forcing them to stay in the restaurant. During the storm, John talks about the reward for his mission and asks Quiet to join him in New San Francisco for a safer life. She refuses, focused on revenge. John warns that vengeance will destroy her. Moved by his words, Quiet accepts Loud's death and abandons her plan. When the storm passes, she agrees to help deliver the package, and John now sees her as his partner. Meanwhile, Sweet Tooth and his group rest outside a mental hospital. He invites Stu inside and while leading him through the halls, tells his story. He was once a child star on a TV show. Jealous of a co-star dog that drew more attention, he killed the animal. His parents sent him to the hospital, where he remained into adulthood and eventually murdered his roommate. When the world collapsed, he escaped. Sweet Tooth then brings Stu to the room he once occupied and points to 2 human skeletons. They are his parents. He admits that he locked them in the room and let them die as revenge for abandoning him. He smashes the bones to show that he has let them go. After leaving the hospital, he finds all his followers dead. Moments later, gunfire from Mike and Stone's men forces him and Stu to flee. Stone, who survived the car explosion, now hunts Sweet Tooth to avenge the massacre at the dam and other posts. After Stone leaves, Mike and his partner check the bodies. Stu pretends to be dead. Sweet Tooth suddenly returns and kills the partner but spares Mike when Stu asks for mercy. Meanwhile, John and Quiet reach New Chicago. They need a way to collect the package because the city wall blocks entry. A mysterious voice calling itself Calypso guides them to a hidden elevator. The lift takes them through the wall and into a storage facility. With Calypso's permission, John secures the package whose contents Raven has kept secret. They head toward New San Francisco and stop at a Courier rest area. John gathers supplies while Quiet refuels Evelyn. In line, a courier harasses Quiet until another courier, Mary, drives him off and mocks him for the insult.
Let's get a girl off before treating her like shit.
Inside the bar, Quiet learns that Mary is John's former girlfriend. Despite their past, John and Mary remain friends. Later the three spend time together as Mary shares how she first met John when her mother was dying and criminals burned down the rest stop. That night John refuels Evelyn and tells Mary about the reward for completing his mission. Tempted by the promise of a peaceful life, Mary decides she wants the job. While John and Quiet watch a performance, she persuades other couriers to steal the package. A fight breaks out. John and Quiet fend off the attackers, and Quiet battles Mary in a brutal fight that ends with Mary's death. They defeat the remaining couriers and leave the rest stop. After the escape, John lets Quiet drive Evelyn for the first time because he is drunk. A courier working for Stone witnesses the scene and quickly reports their direction. Stone learns that John and Quiet are heading to New San Francisco and begins setting a trap. The story shifts to John's childhood. After a car accident, he wakes alone on the roadside. A woman approaches and offers help. John explains that he does not know his real name or his parents. Pretending to be kind, the woman steals his car and drives away as the Watkins storm approaches. Time passes and John struggles to survive. He finds an abandoned car that he later names Evelyn. Days later, a group of criminals tries to kill and eat him. He fights back and escapes in the car. John reaches a junkyard to repair the vehicle. He searches for usable parts and installs them. There he finds a license plate with the name Evelyn and adopts it for the car. From then on, the vehicle becomes his most valued possession. Back in the present, John and Quiet drive toward New San Francisco. Quiet discovers a childhood photo of John, but a strong wind blows it away. They stop to retrieve it, and 3 members of the Holy Man gang hijack Evelyn. John is furious, but Quiet still carries the package in her bag. Soon they hear the distinctive bell of the Holy Man gang. Wearing masks taken from the men they killed earlier, they follow the sound to locate Evelyn. They find a cult-like group that practices brutal rituals. To keep her disguise, Quiet endures a whipping. Moments later, the leader, Preacher, arrives. The cult brings Evelyn to him and he admires the car. Preacher plans a reckless test drive that could destroy the engine. John challenges him to a duel to win the car back. Preacher accepts and takes drugs to dull pain. After a brutal fight, Preacher defeats John. While the cult watches, Quiet disguises herself as a courtesan and attempts to steal a vehicle. When a cult member discovers her, she kills him and prepares to escape. She frees John from his cell and urges him to flee with her, but he refuses to leave without Evelyn. He tells her to go first. From a distance, Quiet sees an explosion and believes John has died. John survives but is devastated when he finds Evelyn destroyed in the blast. He gives a final farewell to the car before continuing his journey. Elsewhere, Sweet Tooth forces Mike to serve him. Mike grows more miserable because Stu refuses to help, still angry that Mike's actions led to his capture and near execution. Sweet Tooth listens to everything Mike knows about Stone and begins planning his next attack. At the same time, John tries to start a car to catch up with Quiet, but the engine will not turn over. Inside, he finds a communication device that offers a small advantage. Quiet continues toward New San Francisco to finish the delivery. Along the way, she crashes into a grassy area and cannot free the vehicle. As she struggles, a Vulture's gang member named Mark approaches and begins a casual conversation. He soon tries to steal the package, proving his friendly approach is a trick. Before he succeeds, Amber arrives with the convoy and shoots him. Quiet enters the truck and reunites with John, who has been rescued by the convoy. John predicted her route and led the group to find her. Watts updates them on the situation. Many of Stone's men have retreated to the dam after the massacre by Sweet Tooth. To avoid Stone, she advises John to bypass the dam and offers an escort through a safer path to New San Francisco. She also lets John and Quiet choose weapons for the journey. During a rest break, John follows Quiet's suggestion and names their new car Roadkill. The next morning, they move through a gap in Stone's blockade under Watts's escort. As soon as they enter the area, Stone's men ambush them. The trap had been planned to capture John and Quiet. Before the fight escalates, Sweet Tooth arrives and fires missiles at Stone's vehicles. A large battle begins as John and the convoy fight Stone's forces.
Line me up!
Sweet Tooth approaches and John acknowledges the help. The clown says his real target is Stone. Both groups then focus on taking Stone down in a chaotic chase. During the pursuit, Amber is shot while driving a truck. At the same time, Sweet Tooth launches a missile at Stone's car. Stone avoids the strike, but Amber's truck explodes. Stu confronts Sweet Tooth in anger over Amber's death. Sweet Tooth replies that he serves no one. Stu fires at him in frustration, then escapes with Mike. Wounded but relentless, Sweet Tooth continues to attack. He climbs onto the front of Stone's vehicle to kill him, but Stone shoots and knocks him off. Moments later, Stu and Mike, fleeing in a car, hit Sweet Tooth by accident and drive away. Meanwhile, John overturns Stone's vehicle with Roadkill's close-range weapon, knocking both himself and Quiet unconscious. When they come to, Stone has captured Quiet and prepares to execute her. She distracts him long enough for John to hurl an axe that lodges in Stone's face. The strike leaves Stone alive but helpless. John and Quiet walk away, letting him bleed out. Moments later they hear a single gunshot, a sign that Stone has chosen suicide. Elsewhere, Watts learns that Amber survived the truck explosion, though the teammate who closed Amber's wound is found dead. John and Quiet finally reach New San Francisco. After a tense encounter with city officials, John delivers the package to Raven with only 1 minute left on the deadline. As promised, Raven offers him citizenship. John refuses because Quiet is not allowed to enter the city. She was never part of Raven's agreement. To force their separation, Quiet shoots John so he will stay behind.
Quiet, no!
John.
Raven opens the package and finds only ice cream. She tells her staff she ordered it from Calypso. 1 month later John recovers from the gunshot and tries to live as an ordinary citizen. At first the quiet life feels safe, but loneliness grows even with Raven's staff keeping him comfortable. Eventually John meets Raven and says he plans to leave and search for Quiet. He admits that life without her feels empty. Before he departs, Raven shows him an empty house in the city and explains that this is where he grew up. She reveals family photos and tells him he has a younger sister. Years earlier, when the world began to collapse, John's father told him to escape alone in a car, leading to the accident that caused his memory loss. Raven confesses she knew this before hiring him. She orders the authorities to detain him so he cannot leave. She explains that the delivery mission was a test of his skill. Because he succeeded, she now wants him to compete in a deadly vehicular combat tournament organized by Calypso. The winner will receive any wish, and John will represent Raven. Outside the city, Quiet drives roadkill until a masked all-female gang stops her. Their leader, Dollface, removes her mask and reveals that she is John's younger sister. She wants to speak with Quiet about him. Elsewhere, Stu and Mike relax until Sweet Tooth appears alive and seeking revenge. He kills Mike and drags Stu away, ending the story on a violent note. So the moral of the story is if you promise to deliver ice cream in a post-apocalypse, expect clowns, explosions, and family drama before you ever get to eat it.